This is Brick Recap of 3 Asian chicks who have to save the world from demons in the most pretentious way possible. By singing. Ugh. And now we'll get ass kicked by a boy band.
No! God, please, no!
Somewhere inside the Wi-Fi, a sea of little brats is filling up their diapers, waiting for their beloved hand tricks. As Celine explains to the girls that people will see them as pop stars, but in reality, they'll be unloading trucks at Walmart? They will be hunters because for centuries, demons have invaded our world, bothering people and sucking out their souls, which they feed to their king, Guima. He looks more like he's fart-powered. And very long ago, the first hunters stood up to protect humans, obliterating the demons with their amazing voices that united people and sparked hope in their souls. Damn, they make Jesus look lazy. And also, they created the first honeymoon shield, which protects our world. And every generation, the new trio is chosen to undertake that extremely difficult challenge. Not dying while crawling up your own ass? A challenge to create the golden honeymoon, which can stop Guima demons forever. And now it's up to Zoe, Rumi and Mira, who are flying to their concert while pigging out and swallowing sushi whole. That's not her first time. But after a while they realize they passed the destination and their crew is a bunch of boneheaded demons who water the plants with coffee and don't know how seatbelts work. But they're wearing ties. So Rumi reveals the uglies and Mira informs them they're going to die, which brings out the biggest stinker, who threatens to eat the girls' fans. Wait, how was he flying a plane if he's a moron? So the ladies burp like hillbillies and start committing physical violence to their first single, but after slicing the uggos like trash bags, they lose half of the plane. Weird, a second ago they had like 2 miles of it. So of course they slurp up their ramyun first and then dive, landing on the stage with 0 cushioning, where they finish the rest of the demons, which the audience assumes are special effects, so the girls continue singing, and you can hear them just as clearly even though they're only now picking up the microphones. And after the show they scrub their asses in the Avengers headquarters, getting ready to do nothing, but Rumi secretly announces their new single and they have to promote it. You little So they promise the fans they'll perform it live, but during the rehearsals, Rami's having trouble with her throat and can't sing properly. That one's on me. I went too deep yesterday. Because as it turns out, she's partly a demon, which only Celine knows about, the woman who raised her, since Rumi is the daughter of a hunter mother and a demon father. Oh, so the mother was supposed to kill the demon, but he impaled her first. And thanks to Celine, Rumi knows that creating the golden honeymoon will stop the demons forever and get rid of her demon marks. Have you tried sandpaper? So she's devastated because they were so close and everything went to hell. But despite ruining the release and making fans furious, her understanding friends forgive Rumi. I'm not over it yet. So they go together to get a special tonic for her voice. While somewhere under the floor in the demon's world, some Chinu guy proposes to Guima to weaken the shield by stealing Huntrix's fans with a boy band. I knew all boy bands came from hell. And the guest stove approves. So when the dolls finish their visit to Dr. Proptosis, they're surprised by the sight of 4 fabulous pretty boys and immediately get lady boners and popcorn eyes. Hey, only men get to be that slimy. And when the 5th dandy shows up, he shoves Rumi aside like she's a bum, pretending he wants to help her, but at the last second just dusts off his shoulder, telling her to look where she's going. And the worst thing about him is that I already love him. Then the boys start to sing something like You're My Coke Zero or whatever, getting the crowd going and pumping some old hags, when the girls realize the dudes are demons, only to let them finish and disappear. That'll show them. But later, the hunters put on their faces and leather costumes straight from their OF accounts and sneak backstage to kill the Saja boys as soon as they finish some challenge. That's fair. But Chinu knows what's up and suddenly announces the girls as the guests, and when they argue over who has the bigger honor and fewer bones, the dudes bolt to the bathhouse, summoning the water demons. And when Mira and Zoe slice and dies, Rumi tries to catch Chinu, who notices she's a demon too and surprisingly helps her to hide it from the girls. Yep, sooner or later they're gonna bone. Then the chicks finish the job and leave, noticing weak spots in the shield and realizing the Saja boys are here to stop them from creating the golden honeymoon. So they decide to make a diss track and bury those those Whoa, easy there, you crazy bitch. But then the six-eyed crow shows up, along with the fried tiger, which tongues her an invitation from Chinu. So the baby parkours her way onto the roof, immediately cutting off the guy's head. At least she did it honorably, from behind and without any warning. Luckily, it's just a mannequin, and the real pretty face launches into the autobiography nobody asked for, whining that 400 years ago he was a poor bum and even plugging a lute didn't help. Did you plug it to the amp? But then he heard the voice of Guima, convincing the loser he'll never be able to help his family and deserves nothing in life. Yup, sounds like a friend to me. But Guima helped him, and peasants finally recognized the talent of Jimmy Lutniks. So he lived a good life with his family, but more and more marks on his body finally brought him to Guima, who made him his slave. Really? And Gino's constantly tormented by thoughts of letting down his loved ones who were left with nothing. And you're not leaving anything out, little prince? Then he finally asks Rumi for her life story, but she only threatens him with a lightsaber. So he suggests she should give him a call after therapy and disappears, barely avoiding the cut. I think it's too late for her therapy. Then the Saja boys become more and more popular, stealing fans from the girls who have to cut down more and more demons passing through the shield. K-pop demon hunters, right. Get to work! So Rumi meets her cupcake again, asking for help so they can set Jinu free from Guima and get rid of her marks. And the dude agrees, shyly adding that Rumi is someone very important to him. What a little bitch. And the day before American Idol, the Violet one suddenly decides she won't perform their diss track because it's full of hatred. Yeah, they're usually about butterflies. And when the girls slash the whole pile of parties, the strawberry one starts to suspect Rumi is demon positive. Like mother, like daughter. She craves that forbidden cut. Then the Violet one meets her crush again, saying that since they started seeing each other, her voice got better. So obviously she starts singing with it despite her stuffy schnozzle.
I try to smile, I was suffocating though, but
nose blowing wasn't included in the budget. And the song of course turns into a duet, in which they sing about feeling good together and united they can set each other free, so later they can bang each other like animals. What? You know very well where this is going. But after Chino promises to make the Saja boys lose, he's sucked in by Guima, who reminds him that in reality he abandoned his family and betrayed them for his own convenience. You can't make an omelette without breaking a few eggs, so warning him that if he tries to run away, the voices of his loved ones will turn into screams, because he can never escape from who he really is. Exactly. Who are you anyway, you clown? Meanwhile, the chicks unite again, hooray, admitting that the band is the one place where all their issues and fears feel okay. How sweet, they're enabling each other's emotional laziness. So instead of the diss track called Takedown, they decide to perform Golden at the Idol Awards, where the Saja boys refuse to come out of the closet, so the ladies go first, but during Rumi's solo, suddenly the lights go out. What the? And Mira and Zoe get lured away by the demons, while their doubles appear on stage and suddenly Takedown starts to play, as the disguised demons sweep down Rumi, revealing her demon marks. Oh no, stop it. And the real girls pull their blades on their friend. So Rumi runs off to Chinu, who claims he was lying all along and that he actually betrayed his family so he could fart into silk. I'm starting to think you can't trust demons. And he convinces the babe that demons can only live in suffering and then vanishes. Cool, where can I sign up? After that, the honeymoon shield goes to shit and the Handtricks break up. So the Saja guys invite everybody to their consolation concert, claiming it will be a feast for the soul. A $20 hot dog? Hell no! And the hypnotized NPCs march on like ants, when Rumi pays a visit to Celine not Dion, admitting she was a mistake all along and asking Auntie to lock her out. Got something else on your schedule? To which she lies they can still make it right and cover the marks, but Rumi doesn't want to hide her berry complexion anymore, and after grabbing the sword she disappears. Ugh, what a drama queen. While the zombie crowd listens to the Saja boys, who lightly suggest that Guima is going to eat them and out. But Rumi shows up at the show and starts singing a song that didn't even exist a second ago, yet the rest of the girls know it by heart. I am not even gonna ask what else they have synced like that. So without any effort or shortness of breath, they cut the parties to pieces, and when Kimono starts to spit at them, Jinu suddenly sacrifices himself for Rumi, reclaiming his soul and offering it to her before vanishing. What a sucker. Then a colorful snot pours out of the public's nips, surrounding the chicks who slice up the boy band and levitate high as a kite to destroy the gas stove with one solid fart. So the shield gets restored and people are happy as hell, although they can't see demons, so they just watch 3 lunatics slice the air, float into the sky and blow up nothing. After that, the hunters take a 3-month sabbatical, finally dragging Rumi to the bathhouse she always avoided, and then seeing their fans, they decide it's time to go back on tour, while being watched by the 6-eyed crow and the faced tiger. Good! My honest rating of this movie is 6 out of 10. Leave a comment with only the wrong title of this movie and let me know what else you'd like to see on Brick Recaps.